Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This absolutely gorgeous Saturday morning. I mean, it is beautiful, and I'm blessed for so many reasons. Spending time with all of you is one of those reasons. This gorgeous day, great fishing in Southern California, and I'm being visited by a couple dear friends. Michael Limon is here. Come here, Michael. I want you to say hello to everybody. Michael's here with his grandpa. Give me a hug, buddy. It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm good.
You're not fishing. What's going on with you?
There's a whole lot of weeds. All we're catching is weeds.
A lot of weeds, but another beautiful day. Thanks for being here. All right. So, again, so happy and so grateful for all of you. Hey, if you don't mind, hit that like button. Deeply appreciate it when you do that. Share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And, of course, tick the little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. It is great to be with you all. I've got some intel that just came in to me. I'll let you know what's going on Tanner and Cortez Bank in one more moment because things are really looking good. What in the heck kind of an airplane is that? I'm not sure. Some of you airplane guys would know better than me. But let's see if I can get that in frame for you. Do I have that in frame? Thing's bitching. Loving it. Oh, man, that is beautiful. I don't even know if I had that in frame. All right, that's beautiful. I don't know. I had to digress for one moment there. Hey, let's get into the Baja situation. I want to take you south of the border and talk a little bit about what's going on down there in Baja, California, down in the La Paz area. They're having a late season. You know, I mean, normally you'll see rooster fish in the spring, and we're just starting to see it. Dorado fishing starting to pick up, but they've had some cool water, and it seems like everywhere is late this year. We've been experiencing that for sure. In addition, we move you up the coast a little bit, Bay of LA, tremendous fishing going on in Bola right now. Lots of Dorado, yellowtail. Of course, you got tons of Cabri and Baquetas. It's great fishing. Cedros Island. Many of you are flying in there. I know Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle has a trip coming up here pretty darn soon, and that should be great because the yellows are off the hook. And if you ever want to focus on calico bass, you can do that. Sometimes the Dorado and yellowfin tuna get close enough where they'll run out there and even spend a day doing that. Cedros is good. And 70 miles south of the border, where my dear co-host Paulina is, they're catching a variety of different species. Offshore, you know, if you find that right kelp patty, there's still lots of yellowtail. If you troll a Mad Mac by an eager bluefin tuna, you can still catch a BFT. There's big bonita offshore. There's been a few Dorado and a few yellowfin tuna, but, you know, that's kind of late again also. Fall is the best time for that. September and October ought to be really great months for those species if the water warms up. And remember, we're under a La Nina kind of regime, oceanography regime right now. La Nina equals cooler water. So we'll just have to see how this all plays off. Inshore in Ensenada, big bonita, great calico and sand bass fishing, and those yellowtail under bird schools. Pretty darn good south of the border. Let's take you out to Tanner Cortez Bank right now before I talk to you about some great long-range fishing out there on Tanner and Cortez. And remember, that's accessible from down there in San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands. If you're on a day-and-a-half trip, you can get out to Cortez and Tanner. And great fishing again today. The Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, surging toward limits of bluefin tuna here this Saturday morning as we have the latest intel for you right now. And also, I just talked to Will on the El Dorado before he took a little nappy poo. He's beat, man. He's been up all night long. He says, Phil, we're on Cortez right now, and we have got an excellent plunker bite going on. A plunker bite is a couple of fish going over a long period of time, all right? So you have one fish or two fish, maybe three fish, four fish going, and then you go dry for a little bit, and then you catch and hook some more fish. That's the kind of bite they have on the El Dorado. But heck, they're up to 60 mixed fish so far. The yellows out there that they are catching are gorgeous fish in the 15 to 25 pound class. There's yo-yo ironfish when you sink your jig deep and wind on it fast. There's surface ironfish when you wind your jig across the surface. And of course, there's lots of bait fish with 25 to 30 25-pound fluorocarbon working best of all. And of course, they've got great bluefin tuna fishing mixed in with it. That is fun fishing. You throw a bait and you're not sure if you're going to get a nice yellow or a bluefin tuna. Those BFTs are in the 15 to 30-pound class in a plunker bite. And I have talked to many other boats out there that are experiencing the same kind of fishing here on Saturday. So I suspect we're going to see more and more of the same. Excellent fishing out there. Bring your 25 and your 30 and your 40. And if you're on a day and a half trip or there's any potential for you to fish at night, you're definitely going to want to have some 100-pound Spectra, some 200-pound bite leader, and 300 to 350, 400-gram jigs. You're definitely going to want to have that for you because there's been some really big fish at night. Not every single night, but it's been pretty darn good, let me tell you, with big fish on several boats here recently. Now, some boats are fishing kelps out of San Diego, so they go south and they fish the kelps. Typically, it's an overnight kind of trip. They don't feel like they can get out to Tanner and Cortez and make it pay off. Some guys get out there and do really, really well. I think the Tribute was out there and had almost 40 bluefin tuna on an overnight trip. But we saw the Pacific Queen here recently with 76 on the yellowtail. Found that right kelp. They had a Dorado. That was for 28 anglers. The Tribute, 34 guys. I believe they made the run to Tanner Cortez, but some of you may have been on that trip. You can let me know. They had 25 anglers with 34 bluefin tuna. And of course, we've just given you the update as to how things are going on out there right now. It is absolutely red hot fishing. All right, going to get into long range. Got a lot more to talk about, but don't forget, if you like the experience of fishing with yours truly on a skiff inside LA and Long Beach Harbor, we've teamed up with a guide. We're going to be fishing out of 22nd Street Landing, and we'll be fishing inside the harbor where you can find some awesome bass fishing. If you want more information on that, just send me a text and I'll get back to you. 657-227-6459. And if you have income tax needs, unfiled taxes, contact our buddy Tim Marquez. He's standing right by right now, and heating and or air conditioning needs, call John Lopez. He'll take care of everything. Long range fishing, still outstanding down there around Alejos Rocks, several hundred miles down the Baja coast. It has been spectacular. You can't get much better than it is. Now, we're talking 7 to 8 day trips out of San Diego, and man, they're catching wahoo. They're catching copious amounts of 40 to 70-pound yellowfin tuna, great yellowtail action at the rocks. Sometimes it's dropper loop fishing at night. Sometimes it's a daytime fly line bite. It's all been good. The Independence just pulled in to Point Loma sword fishing in San Diego. It was Captain Billy's very first trip, and it was such a successful trip. Billy, nice going, my friend. What a great trip they had. Wahoo, they had yellowfin tuna, they had great yellowtail fishing. They went into the Baja coast yesterday, and they had fantastic fishing on calico bass, few white sea bass, more yellowtail. It was absolutely wonderful. And they just pulled in to Point Loma and are unloading their magnificent catch. I don't know how it can get much better than that. All right, by the way, I did mention the kelp patty thing. I gave you a few scores that were pretty darn good. There's a lot of misses also. You do have to find that right kelp patty. So keep that in mind to make things happen. You're going to have to stumble across the right one. It's a numbers game. The more kelps you find, the more chances you have to find the one that really wants to bite. And again, you can become part of that search and destroy mission. Get your eyes open. You find a kelp and point it out to a crew member or the captain. If they miss one and you find one and it's the one that's holding, man, people on board owe you a beer or a cup of coffee or something. So good stuff going on there in San Diego. Let's take a look at our islands. Coronado Island's much slower right now. It has really tailed off after a really tremendous season there at the Coronado Islands. The yellowtail bite at the Coronado Islands is as good as I have seen it for many, many, many years. Really tremendous fishing going on there. Hopefully we're going to see that rebound here very soon. But for right now, it's been a lot scratchier. You know, you catch a few fish on the 25-pound fly line bait, and some surface iron fish seem to get the bigger fish also. But here recently it's slowed up. San Clemente Island, not a lot of guys fishing it because Cortez and Tanner Bank are so close, and you got that mix of yellowtail and also bluefin tuna. But at the island itself, there's good calico bass fishing. There's still that good dropper loop yellowtail fishing. There's still some squid there. You make some squid and you dropper loop in Pyramid Cove. In the early morning hours, you can get flashed by some really big yellowtail. And also there's a little bit of barracuda and other species like sheepshead, whitefish. Catalina Island, very scratchy here lately. A few bass, a few yellowtail, a few barracuda. Just take a highlighter and do few. It's just been kind of scratchy fishing at Catalina Island. But there's beautiful, pristine days, and it's not to say you still can't have a really good time. And that bite hopefully will get going here again very, very soon. The El Patron. Man, we love the El Patron. Limited load, great boat, fast, great food, great crew. You can't beat it. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Get on the El Patron. Taking a look now at the Channel Islands. What a trip for Tucker McCombs again. Man, Tucker's they're gonna have to build a statue to him somewhere up there in the Channel Islands. What a year the Endeavor is having out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Tremendous fishing, 12 guys, limits of halibut. That is as good as it gets. Here in Southern California, that is 5 halibut per day, per angler. Another big trip on board the Endeavor. They've had several great trips on both white sea bass and halibut. Here most recently, it's been halibut fishing that's been really good. Great trip, no question about it. On board the Californian, they had a halibut. Now that's the local full day boat out of Ventura, but they had a lot of rockfish. And by the way, that's the old Matt Walsh. She's a gorgeous vessel that I know you're going to have a lot of fun on. And also we see some yellowtail. I know the Gray Light's been focusing on yellowtail up there, catching some. There's sea bass, there's halibut, and then there's copious amounts of rockfish. The Island Spirit, the half-day trip tomorrow out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Kids fish free. You're going to want to get on that. A paid adult, kids 12 and under, go for free. So give that a shot. I know you're going to enjoy that. Fishing with Captain Daniel Hadaway. He's one of my favorites. We have so much fun out of Ventura. I hope you can get up there and do it soon. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they've got a lot of room for you to jump on the Island Spirit. 805-676-3474. I know you're going to love fishing with Captain Daniel on board the Island Spirit. Get out there as soon as you can. You can also book by going to VenturaSportFishing.com. So some great stuff. Hey, let me just run you up to San Francisco and tell you that that insane halibut bite up there continues with stripers going along with it. It really has been excellent. Michael, come over here a minute. Let's get a surf fishing update from Michael. Any fish?
No.
No fish at all?
No.
All right. Michael ran down and got some intel. I see a surf fisherman down here. Grandpa's still down there, but there is a lot of debris in the water, mostly seaweed, and that has made things a little bit more difficult. Hope you're enjoying the surfers behind me as it's another great surf day here in SoCal. All right, speaking of the local bite down in San Diego, great sand bass fishing. Continuing the sand bass bite has been absolutely outstanding. A dropper loop with 15-pound, 20-pound, and a good hot sardine or chovy, 2 to 4 ounce torpedo sinker. And man, you are on. Been a great sand bass here in San Diego. We saw that start in Ensenada, down there 70 miles below the border. In fact, I was down there catching sand bass a few months ago, and that sand bass bite extended up to the San Diego area, but it has not arrived here. Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, lots of short calico bass, few halibut every once in a while. You know, that kind of a bite. And then up here, we're catching a lot of sculpin still. And it's August. That's the kind of thing you expect to be doing in March. But right now, that's what we have. We're hoping that that sand bass bite will manifest itself here at some point in time. We've seen, you know, a few schools of fish around, and we've had a few days where boats have had limits of sand bass. Overall, pretty tough on that. A lot of sculpin, rockfish, that kind of a thing. High hopes that some barracuda or some bass are going to move in here pretty soon. Same thing in Redondo and Marina del Rey, although up there at MDR, they are having some good twilight fishing at night. Nothing wrong with that, my friends. Once again, we're taking a look at the surf fishing report. Michael just getting some excellent intel for us right up to the minute for you. And Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the bait you'll need for your next surf fishing adventure. They got all the tackle you'll need. They are your surf fishing headquarters in Southern California. You're going to love it. but let's not underestimate what kind of inventory they have there. They also have everything you need for bluefin and great selection of reels and rods and just everything you'll need. And they give away a free custom rod every single month. You just need to walk in there, buy your ruler, and then they'll provide you with all the info about catching the biggest surf fish of the month and winning a gorgeous, beautiful custom surf fishing rod. All right, up and down the coast, we're catching a little bit of yellowfin croaker up and down down there around Huntington. There's good corbina fishing in the surf right now. Still a little bit of barb perch around as that La Nina, I think, is hanging out. They like cool water up in the Santa Monica Bay. Good corbina fishing up in El Segundo, Topaz Rock Jetty, Rats Beach, and right there next to the Redondo Pier, there's a lot of corbina, nice ones too, in the surf. So some pretty decent surf fishing action going on. All right, we are watching all of this so closely for you all. Remember, if you'd like to fish with me on one of those harbor excursions, 2 and 4 hour trips, send me a text right now. We'll get you caught up on that. We have some great trips on the horizon. Next April, 5 days on the Independence. Also, you can check that out by going to www.independentsportfishing.com. September, a 2-day trip on board the Apollo. That's out of Seaforth. And then a 2-day trip on the Amigo, which I can't wait to do. That's going to be October 6th through the 8th. Hey, as always, it's great spending time with all of you. Thank you so much for being here, for all the likes, for sharing the videos, for all the tremendous support you give to Friedman Adventures. It means so much to me. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you really, really soon.